We found out about the news of Tamar Braxton that she had an attempt to take her own life. It's like, what is going on with that sister? Why would she do something like that? You get what I'm saying? I mean, she, have a, decent family, her family made something out of themselves, but she had posted some things that was very concerning prior to that attempt on her life. So as the details, come out, amid her hospitalization, she had leaked a letter that was to Tamar's family exposed where she likened herself to a slave and said that the only way she see out is death. Now, if you're in a situation you think that's the only way out, then what are you involved with these folks? Okay. So she has said in a quote, "I'm a slave. I don't own my own life, my stories, my pictures, my thoughts or beliefs." He said, "I've asked my master to free me. I'm threatened and punished for it." She said, she continued, "The only way I see out is death. I would choose that before I continue to live like this." He said, "Please help me." He said, with praying hands emoji. Okay. So there was another leak had came out in the form of an email sent to WE-TV executives. And she had stated in the email, it says, she's talking about the show, the Braxton Family Values. Okay. She says that we fight with each other, we betray each other, and now we're physically assaulting each other. He said, all happening because your show, Braxton Family Values, has chosen to show the absolute worst side of a strong, independent, and successful African-American family. It's a show that I created to showcase a strong black family as a beacon of hope for all young black girls and boys out there. Instead, you coached and cajoled us into finding the worst in each other. She said, I hope those ratings were worth it because you succeeded in destroying a great American family. Well, anytime you dealing with these networks, VH1, MTV, whatever, they're looking for ratings. And I'm going to be real about it. I can even tell you on YouTube, most people don't want to see positive. I'm going to just keep it real. I've done videos that, hey, this young man or young girl got this full ride scholarship coming from nothing. I've done videos where, a dude come from out of jail, get a good job, do this, some positive stories. Nobody watch it. Hardly any views. But let me post something about a Karen. Talk about Nick Cannon when that happened. Look at the views from that video. The first one I posted, right? You'll watch that. People in general on YouTube, TV, whatever, you'll watch that. The reason why the love and hip hop stay on and why you see all the drama and the fighting, etc., that's what people want to watch, unfortunately. And because people want to watch it, that's what they're going to give. They don't make money off of you having, hey, we having a positive family. And listen, it's great to see. I support it 100%. But when it comes to these networks or even on YouTube, people don't want to see it. The analytics don't lie. And these people are looking at money and looking at advertising. And they're saying, well, look, if we show Tamar fighting with Tony, that show got this much ratings. And when Tony and Tamar got along, oh, well, hardly nobody watched that episode. What you think they going to push? Is it wrong? Yes. They will use your family and destroy your whole family for money. But when you sign a dotted line with them, when you give them creative control on your idea, this is what happens. You say, oh, I get my family on the TV. At what cost? Now you trying to take your own life behind signing what you feel is a slave contract. And this happens to a lot of people in Hollywood. Okay. She said this, continuing. The day you dug up a secret I never shared with anyone, a secret I was so ashamed to talk about that I hid even from my own mom, the fact that I had been assaulted and, well, the R word that YouTube doesn't like us to say, okay? It's repeatedly from the age of 6 to 16, sometimes multiple times a day. It says she added, you broke me that day, and I considered ending my own life then and the shame I felt. She says, I have news for you. Today, I'll take my power back. I will no longer tolerate being oppressed. I'm asking you to break the chains now and let me go. I'm suffocating. I can't breathe. So basically, now it makes sense. I said, why would she do that? They put something out there about her that her family didn't even know, all for ratings. Listen, these people do not care about you, me, or whatever. If you sign a dotted line with a network, all they care about is money. They will destroy you. They will destroy your family if it makes them money. It's a sick, cruel thing. I know. There's no morals to it. None at all. But in this society, especially with extreme capitalists, they don't care. They have no morals. All they care about is the dollars in the bank account, and they can care less if you take your life, if your family's destroyed, if you're on drugs, or whatever else. You gotta look at people like Whitney Houston. How did she go from being the Whitney we knew to being on drugs? Talking about Bobby, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, even Bobby Brown, talented man. You know, we saw that train wreck on TV. Great, you know, people. Then you see, you know, Bobby Christina, the way she died. I mean, it's just crazy. So they were saying that, you know, the network itself said Tamar Braxton has been a part of the WeTV family for nearly a decade. We keep her and her family in our thoughts and prayers, and join with her fans, sending her strength and healing at this time. Okay. They say, in addition to being devastated by WeTV's actions, they say Tamar was to be big mad that on her show, Tamar Braxton Get Your Life, that she'd be working with producer Mona Scott Young. They say a family source told the media that Mona was the one person Tamar did not want to be around. Now, Mona Scott Young is the woman that's over all this love and hip hop. Okay. They said Braxton was unhappy that the network had selected love and hip hop producer Mona Scott Young to produce Braxton's new show. It said Tony Braxton Get Your Life. Said Tamar felt ambushed. Said she was invited to the network to have a meeting to talk about the show and the premise of the show. And right there, sitting down, is Mona. It said a person she did not want to work with. Once again, Mona Scott Young has a proven track record of ratchetness that get ratings. You know what I'm saying? Now, the thing is that I don't understand is that VH1 and Mona Scott Young has consistently, for years, made Black American women look bad. And they can fly underneath the radar with no criticism. And I've always had an issue with that. But you know, it's some things women can get away with that men can't. Because if it was a brother behind Love and Hip Hop, oh, he'd be crucified. He'd be saying that, how dare you disrespect the sisters like this, and look what kind of image you're putting out there. And that would be the right criticism. And I'm not saying that people don't criticize Mona Scott Young. I'm not saying they don't. What I'm saying is she isn't pushed back on enough, because when you go to different countries throughout the world, the images that Mona Scott Young and VH1 put out, people in other countries think that's Black American women. That's how they really are. And that's where it becomes a problem for me, because that's not who we really are as a people. That's a certain section of our community, yes, but that's not all of us, right? So, you know, definitely, you know, I definitely send, you know, my condolences and definitely prayers to Tamar Braxton, her family. I hope the sister can get some counseling. She really needs some counseling. And lawyer up and see what you can do to get that contract. That'd be the best thing for you. If you know, you sign that kind of deal, I'm meticulous about anything I sign. I'm going to look at it. I want to know who do what, when, where, how. Because one thing I'm not going to have is you owning me. No, you're not going to own me. You're not going to own my likeness. You're not going to own nothing. It's going to be a partnership. In other words, it's beneficial to the both of us. You're not going to own my show, my creation, like with Nick Cannon. He literally gave VH1 Wildin' Out. Now he talking about he want his show back. You signed the dotted line, bruh, that they can have that show. I don't feel good about creating an idea and giving it to somebody else, and then they can fire me for whatever the reason from my creation. That ain't happening. And people need to really start reading these contracts. They really do. But, you know, I hope she recovers, and, you know, we'll keep checking in on this story.